Chapter 6 Attention. Bible quote: "A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways." James 1:8. Attention is forceful in proportion to the narrowness of its focus, that is, when it is obsessed with a single idea or sensation. It is steadied and powerfully focused only by such an adjustment of the mind as permits you to see one thing only, for you steady the attention and increase its power by confining it. The idea which realizes itself is always a desire upon which attention is exclusively concentrated, for an idea is endowed with power only in proportion to the degree of attention fixed on it. Concentrated observation is the attentive attitude directed towards some specific end. The attentive attitude involves selection, for when you pay attention, it signifies that you have decided to focus your attention on one object or state rather than on another. Therefore, when you know what you want, you must deliberately focus your attention on the feeling of your wish fulfilled until that feeling fills the mind and crowds all other ideas out of consciousness. I'm going to repeat this paragraph. Therefore, once you know what you want, you must deliberately focus your attention on the feeling of your wish fulfilled until that feeling fills the mind and crowds all other ideas out of consciousness. The power of attention is the measure of your inner force. Concentrated observation of one thing shuts out other things and causes them to disappear. The great secret of success is to focus the attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled without permitting any distraction. All progress depends upon an increase of attention. The ideas which impel you to action are those which dominate the consciousness, those which possess the attention. Bible quote: "This one thing I do, forgetting those things that are behind, I press towards the mark." This means, this one thing you can do, forgetting those things that are behind. You can press toward the mark of filling your mind with the feeling of the wish fulfilled. To the unenlightened man, this will seem to be all fantasy, yet all progress comes from those who do not take the accepted view, nor accept the world as it is. As was stated here too, if you can imagine what you please, and if the forms of your thoughts are as vivid as the forms of nature, you are by virtue of the power of your imagination master of your fate. Your imagination is yourself, and the world, as your imagination sees it, is the real world. I'll read this again. Your imagination is you yourself, and the world, as your imagination sees it, is the real world. When you set out to master the movements of attention, which must be done if you would successfully alter the course of observed events, it is then you realize how little control you exercise over your imagination and how much it is dominated by sensory impressions and by a drifting on the tides of idle moods. To aid in mastering the control of your attention, practice this exercise. Night after night, just before you drift off to sleep, strive to hold your attention on the activities of the day in reverse order. Focus your attention on the last thing you did, that is, getting into bed, and then move backwards in time over the events until you reach the first event of the day, getting out of bed. This is no easy exercise, but just as specific exercises greatly help in developing specific muscles, this will greatly help in developing the muscle of your attention. Your attention must be developed, controlled, and concentrated in order to change your concept of yourself successfully and thereby change your future. Imagination is able to do anything, but only according to the internal direction of your attention. If you persist night after night, sooner or later you will awaken in yourself a center of power and become conscious of your greater self, the real you. Attention is developed by repeated exercise or habit. Through habit, an action becomes easier, and so in course of time gives rise to a facility or faculty which can then be put to higher uses. When you attain control of the internal direction of your attention, you will no longer stand in shallow water, but will launch out into the deep of life. You will walk in the assumption of the wish fulfilled as a foundation more solid even than earth. I'll read this last sentence again. You will then walk in the assumption of the wish fulfilled as a foundation more solid even than earth. And that's the end of chapter 6. So, attention is something that is really, really essential if you want to master changing your reality and changing your life. And this exercise that Neville gives in here is not an easy exercise. I have attempted to do it and I have never successfully completed it. But the whole point in doing it and continuously trying to do it is that you're training your mind to be focused. And so the point is not in so much completing the exercise, but in the fact that as you're doing it, you're training your mind to be focused and you're training yourself to be still. You're training your mental faculties to be still and for your attention to be focused on that one thing that you're thinking about at that time. And just like any exercise in the gym helps the body, when you first start doing, let's say, start lifting weights and you're lifting 20, you might feel wobbly in the first few lifts, but as you continue to do it, you notice that your muscles start to grow and become used to it. And then you find that the 20 is actually too light, and then you put on more weight and you go up to 25 or 30. It's the same thing with doing an exercise like this that focuses your attention. And there's so many other exercises that focus your attention, meditation being one of them, breathwork being one of them, and they are all really powerful tools when it comes to changing your reality. Because in order to successfully change your reality, as Neville quotes the Bible here, you have to be very single-minded in your focus, very single-minded in your thoughts and in your energy on your desire of the wish fulfilled. If you're trying to manifest health, for example, you have to be focused on you being better, you already being better, and you ignore any other circumstances that you're going through at the moment. So when you're walking around limping or in pain and your body is physically shouting at you, showing you that you're in pain, and your brain or your thoughts are going, oh, I'm in pain, oh, that hurts, my foot hurts, or I don't know, my back hurts so much. You have to crowd all these things out by being so narrow minded on your idea. And every time you feel the pain, you take yourself back to that situation or that moment of saying to yourself, first of all, seeing yourself in your mind's eye that you're already better. And then you're having that inner conversation and saying, I'm so glad, I'm so grateful that I'm well, I'm so grateful that my back is strong. Or I remember when my back used to hurt, but now I am in so much health. Now I'm in, I'm walking fine, I'm walking well, I can lift this, I can walk, I can run. And you continuously put yourself in that state as if that wish has already fulfilled, and that will change your reality very quickly. See you in the next chapter.